ANDBOX lineup is completed.
All right, so see what Tens brings. I mean, you expect it to be Jet. They do typically bring one here on Ascent, so I wouldn't be surprised. Apart from that, there's no variation from the normal here for Sentinels. Pretty much the same here on ANDBOX's side, I believe. Yeah, it looks like it's pretty much the same. So, standard fare in terms of agent selection. Ascent is going to play out exactly as you expect in terms of that. When we actually get into the action, that's where most of the difference making is going to be made. If you zoom out a little bit further than just VCT Stage 2, Challengers Week 2, this is definitely a better map for Sentinels overall, and it's probably why they brought it here. Now, of course, that's further out in the past, and one of the things that's been consistent for Valorant in competition just anywhere is that there is no consistency. The expectations are often circumvented, and you can find yourself looking at a situation like this one right here where you expect Sentinels to have the advantage, and you don't. Or they don't.
Well, everybody appears to be selected and ready to load in, so we're just a few moments out from getting things underway with what could be our final map between these two teams, but we don't know that yet. We do not have the power of future sight. We have to go through it just as you do. This is going to be a fun one to watch. We didn't cast this match just yet, or we haven't casted this map just yet, so that's going to be a treat for us as we are still breaking in our maiden voyage, I believe was the phrase I used to describe it.
Yeah.
It has been a treat, by the way, to get to do this with you, and of course there's nobody that I would have wanted to do it aside than yourself. Anyway, ANDBOX is going to be starting on defense, Sentinels on attack, here on Ascent map number 2.
So it looks like it's going to be a fake out on A for Sentinels. You can see the spike ready to rotate into B, and ABX has taken the bait. The rotation is in. Sick is pressuring by main, and he has no obligation to push out because this is not, in fact, the actual push. The question is, when is Sentinels going to realize they've already opened up their opportunity? The wall by B main is going to stop them for a while. Is that what they're waiting out? It might just be, but ANDBOX has already read this, and they are going to start going for mid control. Unfortunately for them, they don't catch the force out now that the wall has gone down on B main. The timing is going to be off for ANDBOX, and sight control should be in for Sentinels. Despite them winning the fight at top mid, it's still going to be an advantage for Sentinels in terms of positioning.
Ten's waiting to see if the Sova is going to do much to push him. Vice's dart could potentially go over his shoulder if you see it get fired, but Vice puts it away instead. Now, there you go. Some intel for him. And Vice will decide to take the fight, frenzy in hand, dropping Tens. The spike does get planted. So now ANDBOX will need to rise to the challenge and do so quite well. Sick is miles away, and there's no way that he's going to be able to get there in time. Whether a kill comes out for ANDBOX or not, they're still going to take the round. In extra time, Sick gets punished by Seb, and it's a flawless round from ANDBOX, even if it takes till after the timer goes.
So, Sentinels played that pretty well in terms of positioning, but they lost all of their fights. Unfortunate when you see those sorts of things happen, but they do. They certainly do. And I love the way that ANDBOX balled up as a team to collectively collapse on that B execute that Sentinels brought us. Now, at least for Sentinels, they did manage to get that spike down. So there's some salvage for the round, but overall, it's still going to be advantage for ANDBOX, and decidedly so. Oh, okay, that happens. But, it's not going to be a useless swarm grenade. It's still in line for the execute. Nothing else.
And Sentinels look like they want, after taking this mid control, look like they want to head towards A, but they'll need some garden or tree control, rather, to see what they can do with that. Obviously, they'll be trailing in terms of weaponry, but that's fine. Vice inside of market, he swings out, and that's not too much of a challenge for him. Ye is there for just added insurance, and Vice will continue. In fact, ANDBOX will finish out the round once again flawlessly, with the Sentinels unable to find a kill through these first 2 rounds.
So obviously you expect that. Now here's where Sentinels can make the difference, as they can buy out those rifles and start making some plays. Now, I will note that we do have some light armor being brought here by Tens and Sick, and that's not ideal, obviously, but it's doable. They are going to be going against a bonus on ABX. They are not... ANDBOX is not going to force out the rifles here. They'll stick with the Spectres, that's fine. You can make that work just fine. About the rifles here, they'll stick with the Spectres, that's fine. You can make that work just fine. And based on what we've been seeing from the defenses of ANDBOX, I wouldn't be surprised if they're still able to take this round. It's going to be a Tiles mid control play for Sentinels mostly. Dapper just trying to use his camera to gather information on main. I think spotted. Once again, this mid play, this time with proper weaponry.
Sick will net the very first kill as he pushes through market and continues onwards, blinding Ye and making some noise here for Sentinels as he heals himself back up. Though he takes a lot of damage in the process and will need to retreat. Doing so with the spike now making its way towards the B site. The remaining members of ANDBOX will try to cut through the mid, and there's no mid control at the moment from the Sentinels. They are all just waiting very patiently. Dapper has moved up though, and now he's trying to hold on to it through that courtyard. Can't do it. And ANDBOX will split their forces. Their focus will be primarily here on going through B main. They will do that. Wall breaking in front of them to try to flush out anybody playing in any rack corners. Tens is far away though, and a smoke will at least stop them from seeing anything head level. Out goes the turret as well from the Killjoy, but Seb's not going to find anything with it as it gets shut down pretty quickly. The timer continues to tick and tick and tick, and now Zoms is down as Boy will work with the rest of his team to pinch. Just like that, ANDBOX have it, but they still need to get Tens, who's finally taken care of, but they won't be able to get the spike. The kills give them a Pyrrhic victory, and Sentinels find their first round.
Beautiful job there by ANDBOX, at least to hurt the economy of Sentinels. Because, yeah, first round acquired, but now look at that. Look at those credits. You're going to be able to buy rifles if you buy that, half armor, but that's not ideal. Sentinels in a position now where they get something in exchange for something else, and they really probably could have played that one better on their off-site control. All they really had in terms of off-site control was Dapper lurking by tiles, which is great. He's able to, potentially do something, but he just lost his fight straight up. And at that point, Sentinels were all just chilling on site, waiting for the round to end, which, it did, but at what cost?
Ye will now have to peel off after he's been tagged and expends a wall in the process. There was another dart overhead, and that angle that was set up to potentially give him not just a line of sight, but also a more favorable engagement doesn't really work in his favor. So something wagered, but not something entirely lost just yet.
Slow push up there on B main. Still a lot of work that could be done there in terms of utility. You can see Mata is out of curve balls to hold off on his aggressive push on top mid, but he's got now mid control. Tens is pushed up on mid, so he's got to be wary of his flank now.
And there you go. He's going to run it back and break in. Not just looking for a kill, but also scouting out what he sees on the site. His run is finished over by Fish Market, and Mata takes down Tens. So ANDBOX finding that first kill. This has been a slow round so far for the Sentinels. They're being punished for it. Zom's the only one able to find the scoreboard thus far, but that's it.
Wow.
Boy, oh boy. Almost a flawless round again for ANDBOX, who are just dominating through these opening four.
I absolutely love the way that Mata read that aggressive play on B and pushed up on A. That allowed for good control in mid when he got to top mid on the on attacker side. But on top of that, it also means that ANDBOX knows they're not dealing with an A push or late rotate because, well, obviously they've got their Phoenix all the way in top mid. So good control of mid has allowed ANDBOX to rotate off of everything that Sentinels does throughout this map. And Sentinels needs to vie, I think, for mid control a little bit more if they want to get an advantage in these rounds.
And some damage done from Seb as he now just holds back with the Phoenix Amata next to him. Smoke in front of them. ANDBOX are having no real problem with this, and they have the ability to just consistently outduel a Sentinels team who are starved for money and starved for weapons as well. Sick is unable to do anything, and another round where ANDBOX only suffers a single casualty. They are dominating in terms of economy, they are dominating in terms of utility, and most importantly, they are dominating in terms of kills. The Sentinels were only able to grab 4, and that came all the way back in the third round. Even then, the only reason why it went in favor of the Sentinels was because of their ability to stall while the spike went off. That was it. ANDBOX have been almost perfect on every round, including the one they lost.
That's true. On the one that they lost, they managed to kill everyone on Sentinels and still keep 3 alive with rifles. So this is looking good for ANDBOX, that's for sure. And we'll hear knives pop for Tens. He's ready to make a play on A. No mid control this time. Last round, Sentinels put 2 by tiles. This time it's just all A with 1 lurking top mid to hold the flank. The entry from Sick nets nothing. And here it comes, Tens with the jump up, and he's not able to get anything out of that. Seb and Mata shutting down that push.
There's too many in front of him there as ANDBOX just punish the Jet for that move. Dom's gone as well, and the remaining members of Sentinels are in between a rock and a hard place as there's still intel being ANDBOX now. Rough going for the team that came into this with a lot of wind at their back. They came in looking to try to seal the deal on a map that they like very much, but aren't able to pull it off just yet, and are consistently finding themselves in the wrong end of this aggression from ANDBOX.
Well, something could come of this peak from Sick. He does still have 1 curveball, so there's playmake potential. Here comes the recon dart. No information gathered as it's shot. Turret, good distraction there. And, oh, nice shots from Sick and Shazam. On top of boxes, Boy will go down. Expected him to get something, but nothing comes of it. Sentinels now in a 2 versus 2 with site control trying to plant the spike, but you can see that Ye is nice and close. The run it back from Mata in a good position there to distract, and now Sick can't play the post plant. He has to play the 1v1. Heal up, and he could definitely win this fight, but it's a res from Ye. Good distraction. Spray through the wall. Neither player able to get the kill, but the time definitely in favor of ANDBOX, and that'll be it. Sick, a nice try, and he's even going to lose his rifle at the end. No bullets in the magazine. Wow. What an effort for Sentinels, but ANDBOX, great distractions.
Oh boy, everything is going right now for ANDBOX, and it's hard to watch for Sentinels fans. I'm certain of it. They just can't make anything work. There are rounds where they're coming in with weaponry, but they don't have the abilities that they need, and they are getting cut down by either getting delayed in mid or in the post plant, just simply not having utility after that to spare. And this is what happens when you are consistently trailing in an eco when you're consistently trailing and needing to rely on eco rounds. As they are right now, there's a single rifle on Sentinels. Now, of course, you've given it to Tens. There's an SMG for Sick. If they can get 1 kill here, maybe pick up a weapon, this is extremely important for them. But Zoms will die. Down goes Tens as well, and the door closes in front of them. Metaphorical door, but also a physical one, as it seems like the round is almost closed off for the Sentinels already.
Yeah, it's definitely looking pretty rough here, and Ye is going to take out Dapper as he attempts to push out from B main. Ooh, missing on the second shot, but no capitalization. Vice ready to support his teammate. Shots through the wall, not landing there for Shazam, and now he's alone with the Sheriff. No stir, says Seb as he locks that round up.
It's a bit deflating from a fan of the Sentinels, or a viewer, or rather, this is rather deflating for people who are fans of the Sentinels. And from a viewer's perspective, ANDBOX are not really getting contested here. Very few rounds do they find themselves trailing in numbers. Very few rounds do they even find themselves going below 3 agents. So when that happened, the 1 round where ANDBOX actually went below 3 agents, there was a res that came in and the Sentinels ran out of time. Now they still have a timeout that they could potentially take. I don't believe the Sentinels have taken a timeout just yet through our first 2 maps. So they can try and maybe recover here as gracefully as they can.
Yeah. The really difficult thing here on Ascent is that Sentinels usually win their attack halves here. So not an ideal result so far. They're going to need to make some changes. The mid control, once again, something that is being utilized or played on for Sentinels. They're not really putting a lot of pressure on that control. And that means that ANDBOX is allowed to stack up more consistently on the site. Right now, we've got 2 by tree, boosted Ye in a position to control mid with his operator. And the rotation is out for Sentinels. They want to go for B. They're going to have to deal with a Sova and a setup Killjoy, though. That's not going to be an easy push.
No, the two Sentinel agents on ANDBOX, as we need to clarify here, both positions so that the B take is going to be particularly challenging. And Sentinels never had that mid control that they needed. It's still a position that we see the Sage playing of Ye. A long line of sight with that operator where she can deal some significant damage. Seb spraying for his life, by the way, as there's just chaos in front of him. Every ability seems to be coming to life in front of our very eyes. The Sentinels actually come out ahead of that one. But they will now need to take a site where Boy is nestled deep inside of. 2 big kills for him as he paranoias up onto Catwalk. Shazam will need to contest. He and Sick are together, and they make it work. The Sentinels take the round, only their second so far, and it was a critical round for them to win.
An expensive round as well. They used the Cosmic Divide, the Hunter's Fury. They went all in on that one, and it worked out. Fortunately for Seb, not in a position where he was able to use his lockdown to deny the push. He didn't have forewarning as well. That's a great explosive take from Sentinels. The run it back, perfect from Sick to distract Seb. Zeus playing by logs. So now with 1 round more on the board for Sentinels, they're starting to build some kind of momentum here. But definitely still ANDBOX in a great position to end out this half in the advantage.
Well, they've got mid control, and they're going to be quick with this one to continue moving towards the B site. Seb and Vice will be the ones to hold it down for now. There goes the lockdown. So hopefully a stall coming out, as for Shazam, he's not going to be able to destroy it with his ult. That means that there will be a delay. And you can tell that the Sentinels have scrambled off of that spot. It will also buy time for ANDBOX to recover from their defense over towards A and get as close as they can towards what will eventually be the execute from the Sentinels.
Now, ANDBOX is completely enveloped Sentinels right now. Because of that lockdown, they've been delayed. That's going to cause a lot of problems when it comes to these engagements.
There's a kill from Tens as the Sentinels are finding the scoreboard. And Boy will try his best to just come in as quickly as he can, but no, he gets swatted away by Shazam. Back the Sentinels will go to mid, by the way. The spike being carried over to A, so it was a great delay on this B site. But for ANDBOX, they will now have a much tougher goal of getting to the A site alive. Dapper will look to cut them off, as will Tens. They've got a crossfire established here, and both Sick and Tens are credited with those final kills. How about a flawless round for the Sentinels, as they've stitched 2 together.
Wow, that was a beautiful play there from Sentinels. I honestly thought that the Killjoy ult was going to cause a lot more problems. That lockdown forced Sentinels kind of between a rock and a hard place. So they were enveloped, 2 by CT, 2 by B, 1 lurking in mid. That was Boy by Tiles. Fortunately for Sentinels, Boy, really strange Shrouded Step. Obviously, timing is unlucky there. It happens. And on top of that, both of the players for ANDBOX that were playing by Defender Spawn Connector were cut down as they attempted to take engagement. So that's really unfortunate as well. Everything just worked out for the Sentinels.
Boy has been pushed back now as we get underway with round number 10. The door will close in front of him, but he makes sure that it's not going to be an obstacle either for himself or for his opponents. There's no mid control that's really needed, but Sentinels do have it for what it's worth, as the Cypher of Dapper will go head-to-head with Ye. If Ye can even make it back, she will head through Market where the Cypher is located. All while this is happening, the remaining 8 members of the server are over by the A site, as that's where the spike is. But the spike is quite a ways away, and now there's a smoke that they will need to go through if the Sentinels want to be able to get this one down. Sick, unable to apply any pressure to the back of the site, and it's Dapper now in a 1v4. He was on flank watch, waiting for the Sage to make it back. Well, he won his duel against Ye, but that's all that he's going to get for now. There's still 45 seconds left, but it is exceedingly unlikely that we're going to see Dapper be able to take this round for Sentinels. It will be another for ANDBOX, barring a miracle. He's looking over towards Tree, waiting patiently. 30 seconds, alarm bot goes off, and a bit of pre-fires from 2 separate members of ANDBOX before Dapper pulls off. He doesn't want to engage off of this. If he can hold on to that Phantom, then that's pretty good. There is save potential here, but...
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to go for it. He's going to try and hurt Eco, and it'll be a 4K for Mata. That's about what you expect after that failure of a execute out through main. Great hold there from ANDBOX. So you can see they stacked up expecting the A execute. There wasn't even a question in their minds. They were right. And Mata held it together. On the mid control, the lurk for Dapper almost worked out. He was able to win his fight against who I believe was holding Cat. But no matter what the case be, ANDBOX still able to take the round. It looks like it's going to be another mid play here, Parker. We've seen this one from Sentinels a few times before. It's worked out for them. You can see, based on the stars locations, that it'll be a push in through market, or at least through mid, maybe to market. But a push out from Cat, ANDBOX will use it to good effect on tiles.
And they net it, and that will, for now at least, slow down the Sentinel's ability to get the control that they wanted. They have mid now, but there's still another obstacle. In front of them is Vice, who's just lurking just outside of market. Sage Wall goes in front of him. He can't do enough damage to Dapper, so Ye will await whoever from Sentinels comes in that direction. Beautiful shot onto Tens, winning his duel and then immediately backing off. Dapper wins his against Mata and will immediately ult to get the location of the remaining defenders in ANDBOX. And with it, an immediate follow-up. He's got every kill for his team so far, going huge in this round. And Omen on the flank, trying to get over towards market. He can do anything with the spike. That will be the question. Shazam has it in his hands. And they will head through market and now over towards the site. But Ye silences Dapper. Down he goes. Shazam in a duel. And nobody can out-frag Ye. 3 big kills for him. And any doubters for that round will be silenced, with ANDBOX going up by yet another round.
And all of that comes down to the read from ANDBOX. What they did was they decided, they saw the same smokes that we've been seeing from the Astra for mid control, and the rotation from tiles to top mid, or to deep mid, and then the rotation through market. They saw that utility start to come out from Sentinels, and they pushed out Cat. As soon as you're pushing out Cat, you've got control now in mid. You're able to take down 2 of the Sentinels players who are attempting to gain mid control. And it's a complete shutout of the strategy. That's just good awareness from ANDBOX, and they're doing it because they've seen the strategy already used by Sentinels 2-3 times. It's a pretty easy read.
Places Recon is going to go over towards this main area in B, but no, unfortunately for Ye, who peeks a little bit too early, Dapper punishes him for that. The Sentinels are going to try and take up ground on B quickly, but all those swarm grenades going off allow for a bright and fluorescent amount of damage being done to them. But not just damage, but also delay. Inside of this corner, both Seb and Mata will continue to just wreak havoc. And oh no, knives out. Mata ends up capitalizing off of it. The first half is in the books. And ANDBOX absolutely pummeling Sentinels on their map.
A knife kill to add insult to injury there for ANDBOX. Their control on both B and A is impeccable. And that half, definitely looking great for ANDBOX. One thing I will say is that Sentinels typically win their attacking half on this map, so it's somewhat surprising to see such a dominant lockout from ANDBOX.
Yeah, there were a couple rounds there that really did set the pace, and that third round did go in favor of the Sentinels. There was an opportunity for the tides to turn, especially when you look at how they were able to use that on their abilities and on their weapons. Economy favored the Sentinels after that one, and they still found themselves in a hole, but obviously not deep enough to get out of. So they tried to recover, but ultimately they had significant issues taking mid, and most rounds that's where it seemed to boil down to an inability to get information on where ANDBOX was playing in mid. And if you can't have mid control, or you don't hold it, if you don't have Killjoy or Cypher watching over that area or have some kind of setup there, it's relatively easy for the defenders to rotate through it and punish you. And time after time, even when the Sentinels would entry well to the site, they would get shut down on the retake by ANDBOX.
Good setup here for ANDBOX inside a market, but it's been read by Sentinels for the most part. There's only 2 people by A. Call has to come out here shortly as ANDBOX are starting to entry out. The great use of the wall. Ye will shut down Dapper as he attempts to rotate off the staircase. All the information definitely going in the favor of ANDBOX right now on the entry. Sentinels trying their best to dissuade the push, and they are going to put up a fight. But ANDBOX, Vice in particular, able to get 2 on his flank up through defender spawn. Now it's a 2 versus 2. Ye and Boy versus Sick and Shazam, and a rotate with the spike in hand for Boy as he starts to go towards A.
30 seconds left.
And I think Ye saw him, by the way. I don't know exactly how close he was, but there's an opportunity that Ye could have potentially, or rather, yeah, Ye could have seen one of the defenders rotating, but no. Ye will still be holed up inside of mid watching. The 2 players from Sentinels are going to be entering through A. Sick in particular clears hell very quickly. That door can be closed, but they'll have to provoke a fight with Boy first, whose shoulder is spotted. Ye swings out. He capitalizes off of that. Shazam takes Ye out of the action, but it's Boy to seal the deal. And it's yet another round for ANDBOX.
Wow, what a rotation there for ANDBOX. The aggressive push out of B amazingly did not cost enough bodies for Sentinels to win that round. And ANDBOX looked mighty committed as well. The fact that the call was made to rotate to A caught Sentinels off guard, that's for sure. And the late rotate, unfortunately, based on that plant location, was just not enough for Sentinels to regain site control. I love the way that Boy planted that, by the way. Playing it off of Tree is a lot safer, I think, than trying to play it off of Hell or Main or any of that.
Well, with it, ANDBOX have put themselves in an even better position in terms of money now, as they'll be armed with the SMGs. It's an eco for Sentinels, and that is where things begin to get a little bit tough. The next round could be Sentinels saving grace, and if there's going to be a comeback, it's going to need to happen now, if not now, then, because after that, that's where essentially the dam breaks, and you find yourself getting absolutely flooded. Tens get spotted right away as ANDBOX are looking for this, but there's a Bucky in hand, and Tens is able to get a shot off before getting out of there. But if you look, it does very minimal damage. He actually comes out worse for wear on that one, as now ANDBOX, who had looked to be taking B, have faked it out, and instead they'll head over towards A. It's Seb to look to walk right in. Mata next to him. Is the spike there? Yes, it is. Can they go for the plant, or will they continue to fight? Mata trying to hold them off as there's double denial from above, and now a wall will go out to stop them. Sick gets confused on his re-entry, and ANDBOX are just looking to lock this site out as the spike is down too. It's Shazam and Tens in a 2v3. ANDBOX hanging on. Shazam down to himself, and only himself. And he doesn't have really much to work with. No utility. If he wants to pull it out, he's got a Bucky, but that's it. He finally gets that recon dart back, but it gets fired over. And on top of that, because of where he shot it from, his position up above is known. Too many targets and not enough target prioritization. Not enough aiming either. Yet another round for ANDBOX as they are marching their way towards putting map 2 in the win column.
I shot on a Boy, at least. It put some damage on the board there, but Sentinels ultimately still just falling a little short. ANDBOX, what a great execution there. And now they're stacking themselves up for B. Honestly, at this point, we do see some Spectres still on the side of ANDBOX, so this is the chance for Sentinels to start changing the pace, but it's not going to be an easy change. There's no run it back for Six, so he's going to have to, or sorry, no run it back for Mata, so he's going to have to entry by himself. Just direct line of contact with the enemy. Good use of the drone here from Shazam, and he'll call out the push, prompting the rotate from Sentinels.
Essentially a full push as well. I'm fairly certain 3 or 4 agents were spotted with that one, and they'll hit it all at the same time, just breaking forward. No delay possible. 10 will try to stop them all. Finds 2 so far as he backs away. Sick now next in the line of fire, quite literally, as it goes out in front of him, playing around it and allowing him to get more aggressive towards B main. Zom's out dueling Mata, and the Sentinels find themselves with a huge advantage, leaving Vice all on his own. Left to his own devices, you could even say.
Oh my.
1v5 and some jump peaks just to get some intel. But Vice is stopped in his tracks. A flawless round for Sentinels, and they are still in this match.
Make no mistake, those 2 lead-off kills there for Tens are all thanks to the gravity well we saw from Astra earlier in the round. On the entry, everyone's getting stopped on that push, and that slows this takedown just enough for Tens to get those kills. Well, he did manage to get a 4K in the end as well. Beautiful stuff. The Blaze as well from Sick to retake the site. Love to see that. Good positioning. And ANDBOX tried to rotate, but at that point they'd already lost so much manpower. So, a very odd round here. We're going to see 1 rifle for Ye. Other than that, some sheriffs. This is definitely doable for ANDBOX, but they don't really need to push it. I mean, they could lose a few rounds here and there and still lock this one out.
I wouldn't be too surprised if we see things slow down a tiny bit, at least for this round now, as ANDBOX have been setting the tempo for most of this map.
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to do too much with just a single rifle. I mean, more than happy for them to make me eat my own words. I mean, Vice is just scouting for intel, by the way.
I wouldn't be surprised. We've seen some crazy things done with these sheriffs, and well, ANDBOX has been on an absolute roll through this map. Right now, they're vying for mid control to get a split through Cat and A main. They're going to have to confront Cypher utility setup here, as well as the Astra and Phoenix. Oh.
The curveball here for Sick, and will he be able to do anything with it? No, he's just a hair off the pace as Ye gets that lead-off kill. A round for ANDBOX, who are unmanned and outgunned, but it doesn't matter. They're still claiming the site. Spike is going down too, and now a smoke up top for Boy, who will head up there himself to try to govern over it. With the Phantom in hand, staring directly into the smoke. Nobody from the Sentinels are going to press that particular angle. This is going to be a tough round for the Sentinels to come back. As you can see, they've still got something working for them. They had some utility on Shazam, but Shazam isn't in action anymore. It's Dapper with just a gun. No damage done to him. He's got full armor, but if he breaks the glass, well, he's going to be known. There's 1, 2. No, only one as it Seb stops it, and map point for ANDBOX.
Oh boy.
Match point.
Well, if you can't win rounds like that as Sentinels, then yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this map, unless something magical happens here. But that mostly comes down to great play from ANDBOX. I mean, yeah, Sentinels had the advantage in terms of weaponry, but ANDBOX played that so well. The way they slowly lurked up from catwalk into tree and only played off contact, beautiful stuff. Despite the curveball coming out from Sick, he just died before he could actually capitalize on it. And there was no real return of momentum from Sentinels. They couldn't answer the aggression in tree and the sight control into A so quickly from ANDBOX. This round, ANDBOX slowing things down. They know they have Sentinels up against a wall, and they're going to try and play around it. The run it back for Sick does gather information, but no kill netted.
And not very much damage done to Vice either, as Sick will now just peel off and head back to the B site. Mata, the very first kill. Could this be the beginning of the end for Sentinels here on map 2? Remember, this is their map. They should have been confident here, but they've been stopped almost every single step of the way. Mata turns his back and the run it back ends as Ye will now wall off the door to tree, making it even more difficult for the Sentinels. There goes a Killjoy ultimate dropped on the ground, and lockdown is coming, but a couple seconds away. Those Sentinels guns are finding their mark. This particular time, it's onto Mata. Down below, Sentinels will have control of Hell, but it's ANDBOX who have control of the site, and the 2 last players from the Sentinels are boxed out. Everything on the line here. Map 3 within their grasps. ANDBOX will need to hold on as best as they can. Now for the Sentinels, the hard job, will need to be to go for the spike. A lot will rest on the shoulders of Shazam, as it's Sick who will likely be the one to go for the exact play. Shazam with one, looking behind him. No, Boy walks right in. Clutch moment. He's got a smoke available, and he'll send it out, trying to stop the Phoenix from being able to do anything. Sick is on it, and that's the matchup, and that's the map. We've still got one more to go, but ANDBOX draws even after a not-so-close second map.
Yeah, that was really impressive stuff from ANDBOX. They showed an adept awareness of Ascent and the way that